Breaking new developments from this deadly church van crash that killed 8 people on their way home to Fort Pierce last year. The crash happened at the intersection of US 27 and State Road 78 in Moorhaven back in March of 2015. While the Florida Highway Patrol blamed the cause of this crash on the van's driver, more than a year later, families of the deceased are taking this tragedy to court, now pointing the blame at the state. We alerted you to this breaking development just minutes ago on our app. Contact 5 investigator Katie LaGrone joins us in our studio tonight with this exclusive new information. Katie.
That's right, Jay. Today, a look at the intersection will show a number of new safety measures that didn't exist at the time of this deadly crash.
Emergency, how can I help you?
Man, there's a car in the ditch here. I think it's got 18 people in it.
It was the van crash that left a congregation of the most faithful nearly losing faith.
She was the angel of this church. Yes, she is.
Now, more than a year after the Florida Highway Patrol pointed blame at the driver for the crash that killed 8 and injured 10 Fort Pierce churchgoers, attorney Scott Smith, representing families of some of the dead and injured, now says he has proof the driver was not at fault.
This was a very dangerous and unsafe intersection.
Smith, in this newly filed lawsuit against the Florida Department of Transportation and the company responsible for restoring this rural road, alleges among the issues the stop sign at the intersection of US 27 and State Road 78 in Moorhaven wasn't visible at the time the van's driver drove right through it, plunging into the canal ahead.
The stop sign wasn't even visible to this man.
No one disputes the 15-person van was also overloaded with passengers, and most of its seatbelts weren't working.
The vehicle didn't cause this trap. The lack of someone using a seatbelt didn't cause this dangerous intersection. The fact that more than 15 people were in this van didn't cause an unsafe intersection. The root cause, the genesis of this particular crash is the failure, the neglect of the Florida Department of Transportation and a Better Roads to properly design, construct, maintain, and service this intersection. Bottom line.
Today, new safety strips lead up to the intersection. A flashing light also warns drivers of the upcoming stop sign. All measures Smith is fighting to now prove would have made all the difference 1 year ago.
This van would have made it back to Fort Pierce, and the 8 people that died in this crash would still be with their families today, and the catastrophically injured would not have to suffer with their injuries for the rest of their lives.
And a report for the state by an independent group shortly after this crash found this intersection had a higher than average number of crashes compared to similar intersections during the same period. It also determined more than half could have been prevented with proper safety devices in place. FDOT not commenting because of pending litigation. Katie LaGrone, WPTV News Channel 5.